Hey there, just gonna try to teach you how to post your Doberman's ears. I like to get everything ready before I get started. So we're just gonna go through your list of supplies, make sure you have everything before you get going. First of all, I like to post my dogs on a table. So I just have a mat that I put down. If they're little and they're puppies, I actually usually do it on my kitchen table. Today, since I'm doing my big dog, I'm doing it on my coffee table just so that she's not too tall. You're gonna need square cotton squares. Make sure they're square. The round ones just won't work. Alcohol, Gold Bond medicated powder to help prevent infection, adhesive remover. You'll need your zip ties. I get these from Lowe's and I get the heaviest and longest ones that I possibly can. Your 3M spray adhesive, your Dremel so you can file down your zip ties. Zonus tape is the tape that I recommend. It's easiest on the ears, it's porous, breathes better, helps prevent adhesion issues and irritation in the ears. Scissors, a great pair of scissors, and then of course some dog treats so that we make this as pleasant of an experience as we possibly can. Okay, first of all, like I said, we want to make this a positive experience. So we want to stay calm and let our dogs kind of just relax as we're getting ready for that new post. First thing, you're going to take your zip tie. You'll see there's a pointed end at the end. I cut that part off. And then we're going to measure this post going into the ear. The best way to do this is to really give the ear a nice snug pull straight up. And then we're going to measure way down into the base of the ear. We want to go straight down, not into the ear canal this way, but straight down into the base of the ear. And then we want to get it right to the tip of the ear and just a little bit extra. And then you're going to clip your zip tie right there. And then you're going to make 2 of those. Good girl. Such a good bear. Now at this point, I actually let my dog get down, run around while I get the rest of the zip tie put together. Okay, so now you should have 2 posts that are cut to the exact same length. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna file off the end. And we do that with our Dremel. So we just basically wanna curve this end so that it's not sharp. So we just kind of shave it down a little bit, make it nice and smooth. And we do that on both ends. Again, just rounding off those sharp edges. So I just kind of feel it until I don't feel anything sharp. And if I feel something sharp, I just get rid of it. And you'll do the same thing on the other one. Again, just being really careful. We just want to get rid of anything that could potentially poke the dog or create any irritation in the ear. So that's kind of the goal. Get that nice and smooth. Okay, the next step is to prepare the tape. So the way we want to do the tape to start with is just kind of laying it out. We measure the posts. We want to leave about 1/2 inch or so at the bottom, and then about probably 1 inch or 1.5 inches on the top. All right, can you see that? And then I just clip that at the bottom. And we're gonna make 4 strips like this. So I lay them all out. Clip them on the bottom. This is where a good pair of scissors will save you a lot of trouble and a lot of pain. And I really try not to touch the tape as much as possible. The more you touch it, the more stick it kind of loses, and you can run into some trouble with those posts coming out early. If you do these right and take a little bit of time, then you can use them hopefully for about 5 to 7 days before you have to change them out. The next thing I do is I take about a piece of tape like this, probably 2 inches or so. Again, clip that, and then I just rip it in half, and I just set those on the edge of my table. All right, back to the post here. So we're just gonna lay this post, again, kind of right in the middle, leaving about 1/2 inch at the bottom and about 1 inch to 1.5 inches at the top. So I lay that on one sticky side, and then I'm gonna put the sticky sides together so that I've got 2 non-sticky sides on the outside. And I try to line those up just as perfectly as I can. And then you're just gonna kink that. So now you should see the nice outline of the zip tie underneath there. If your zip tie is curved, you kind of gotta straighten it out, stretch it out just a little bit, try to get it to lay as flat as you possibly can. Again, lay that in the middle. If I do get a curvy side, I kind of lay that down towards the bottom so that it won't be, hopefully, as ornery when I go to put the tape on top. Again, sticky side to sticky side, laying them right on top, and then kinking them down, just like that. Now, if your dog is young, a lot of times I'll actually do 2 sets of these at a time, because probably the next time you go to change the ears, you can use that same length of zip tie. So it just saves a little bit of time the next time you go to post. So that's just kind of a helpful pointer. All right, at this point, we want to cut about 1 inch from the bottom of the zip tie. So from about here to here. Don't worry too much. If it's a little bit off, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. And we do that on both. At the short end, don't do it at the long end. This is the part that's gonna go up and over the top part of the ear. So we're doing this at the bottom on the short end where we left about 1/2 inch. Okay, and then we fold this. So we fold this in and we fold this up. Then we take one of our cotton squares and we basically wrap that around the base. And sometimes you have to just play with it to get that cotton square to lay just right. So we wrap it tight and then we fold up that bottom. We kind of want that bottom to meet the very top, right about the base of the tape. And then we take one of those shorter pieces that we tore off earlier and we wrap that as tight as we possibly can around the base of this post. So this is what it should look like. Again, long end at the top, nice padding all at the bottom. This is what's going to go into the base of the ear. So we really want to make sure there's no sharp edges poking through there. I'll do that again. Again, folding in the tape here. Okay, it doesn't have to be pretty because it's going to get covered. And again, you might have to play with your cotton square just a little bit. Sometimes it's easier to cut a little bit off the bottom when their ears are shorter and then just wrap that part and then fold it. You can see this is too long, so I don't want that. So I'm gonna go this way because her ears are longer. And then again, if I ever get to the point where there's too much at the top, you can just, again, trim it across with your scissors. And then again, we take that tape. This is really important to just make sure that this gets wrapped super, super, super tight. Okay, at the top. Again, we don't want any tape down here, only around the top part of the zip tie. At this point, I usually take these outside and spray them down really good so they can start to kind of get a little bit tacky with my spray adhesive. So you can follow me outside and we'll go get that done. Okay, I like to do this outside because this stuff stinks really bad and it's sticky and I don't want that in my house. So you're just gonna spray this down nice and good. So you can see it's a little bit wet and that's okay. It's gonna get tacky while it's waiting, while we get the rest of the ears prepped and ready to go. Okay, that's that. Okay, I think at this point, I try to get everything prepped and ready so that by the time I get the dog back up here, all my tape and everything is ready to go. Again, this can kind of air dry, gets a little bit tacky, actually just helps it to stick in the ear just a little bit better. So now, if your dog's ears are shorter, you probably actually only need 2 pieces of tape for this next part. Once they start to grow and get longer, then you're gonna need 3. So you're gonna peel one that's probably about, 2 to 3 inches, again, depending on how wide across your dog's ear are. So I just lay these from smallest to biggest, and I kind of just, again, measure them against each other on the edge of the table and then clip. So I'm gonna come around here so you can show them. If you're doing 3 sets, that second set is gonna be about 1.5 inches longer than the first set. So there again, I just hook them on the table and pull them down. And then for my dog, because again, her ears are long, we're gonna do a third one. Same thing, that third one's gonna be about 1.5 inches longer than the second one. If your dog's ears are shorter, when they're first puppies, you're lucky you only get to do a set of 2. So then I just let that hang off the table there. All right, the next step comes prepping the dog's ears. Okay, again, once we're ready and we have all of our tape set, then it's time for the prepping of the ear. That's a good girl. So lots of treats, lots of good positive reinforcement. I take one of these squares and I put some alcohol on it, and we just want to clean down into the base of the ear. Don't be afraid to get your finger nice down and in there. We want to make sure that we get out any adhesive or any gunk that's kind of left over from the posting before. Good girl. And I do that on both ears. Get both those nice and cleaned out. Good girl. That's a good pair. And again, you'll probably get quite a bit of sticky out of there. Good girl. All right, just go there. All right. Then the next thing that I do is we want to put a little bit of powder into the ear. So you can keep it in the Gold Bond thing like this. I've also put it in like a child's insufflator that you can do like for their nose to suck out the snot. And I use that to kind of pour the powder in, and then basically we puff that powder down into the base of each ear. Good girl. Just again want to prevent infection, keep that area dry. Good girl. All right, now for putting in the post. Again, the biggest key to this is making sure that we don't let this ear sag. We want to make sure we pull that ear up and nice and tight. The sticky side is going to go to the inside part of the ear here, okay? So I kind of stick my finger kind of into the notch back here on the back of this post. That helps me keep my fingers away from the sticky. And then basically, again, pull that ear straight up. We get that post right in the base of that ear. I'm kind of doing it backwards so you guys can see, but way down into the base of that ear. And then we're going to kind of roll this back and then kind of lightly lean it forward. And then this part over the top lightly lays over the top part of the ear like this. And then just kind of squish that together. Then I kind of rub down in here, make sure this gets all sticky. Good girl. Such a good girl. Yeah. All right, so we just make sure that that's got nice adhesive on it. Again, the ear will kind of relax just a little bit, but you'll be able to feel that that post is nice in the base part of that ear. Now for the tape, again, if your dog's ears are short, you'll only need 2. The tape is not meant to strangulate, it's just meant to kind of hold. So it's not even really a tightening. We don't want to wrap that ear. So we shouldn't be putting the tape on and then cranking this ear down tight like that. That's not the point. We just want to help secure this tape. So again, it almost turns out a little bit more square than it does round. And again, we just kind of want to get around that top part of the ear. And then again, these are all set up so it's super easy. We're going to wrap to the inside part of the ear. So we're going to wrap towards the top part of the forehead. And I'm going to do 2 just because that's what most of you are going to be doing initially. So again, we don't want to strangulate this ear. We don't want to pull that ear tight. We just kind of want to secure that tape right at the base of the ear. Okay. And then I kind of usually just give that ear a good squeeze. And then a lot of times I'll flip my dog the other direction to do the other post, but I'm going to have my camera person come on this other side over here, and we're going to show you how to do this other side. Hey, girl. Okay, again, pulling that ear nice and tight, getting that post right in the base of that ear, kind of flipping it backwards, and then pulling that ear nice and tight, laying it onto that post, folding over the top. Again, we kind of give that a nice good squeeze. And then we take that tape. Again, remember, it's not meant to wrap harshly. It's just, again, to kind of secure the post to the ear. And like I said, I'll just do the two. If I was doing this for real, again, when we post that, we want to kind of, again, remember to keep that ear nice and pulled up tight. That's really the key. We stick that tape down. Again, kind of wrap around the ear. And then stick that down nice and tight. And then again, give that a good squeeze. And Nyx is really good. She's helping me out by holding those ears up nice and good. So that's always helpful. You guys won't be that lucky. Oh, this next part is probably the trickiest part. We kind of got to think about measuring from ear to ear. So you're just going to get better as you do it to where you can kind of eyeball it. And then I cut that. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to fold this middle in half. And then we're going to split the ends to reach that middle part. So again, keep those ends separate from each other. So I just kind of cut them and give myself a head start. If you've unwrapped too much, you can always do less. Good girl. Okay, so this part goes around the base of the ear. Again, the goal is to have as little tape touching the ear as possible. So I just tape over the tape I put around the base of the ear, which is why it's so important to make sure that that piece is really nice and secure. And then if I didn't give myself or gave myself too much, I can always zip or unzip as much as I need to make this tight. And then we wrap around the base of the ear once more on both sides. Again, trying not to pull tight. We kind of just want to add a little extra support. Again, when your puppy's ears are shorter, it's a lot easier to do that and only have the one piece. A lot of times when they're puppies, and again, we're only doing 2 straps, I actually will just leave it just like this. When they get a little bit bigger, however, you may need to make this same piece across the top. Again, we kind of just want to pull the ears up and towards the middle, but we want there to be enough laxity in that piece, but not too much because we don't want their ears to go out to the side. I think the biggest thing that people worry about is when they untake the post and maybe they see the ear going in a direction they're not happy with. And really all you need to do at that point is just the next time you post the ear, undo whatever it is that you didn't like. So maybe there's a kink in the skin, or maybe there's a wrinkle in the ear. Just make sure when you post that next time, you pull a little bit tighter, or pull this a little bit tighter to get those ears closer together. Or if they're too close together and you're seeing them touch like this, that means that this middle piece was too tight. We want to relax it just a little bit, like that. And that's it. That's all there is to ear posting. All right. So for those of you that have posted before and now you're getting ready to do your second post, we obviously are going to have to take this stuff off. And this is where adhesive remover will absolutely save you and save your dog's hair on their ear. So you can put it either on a cotton ball like this, and basically you just add some adhesive remover to that. Oh, I know, Mama. Come here. And basically we just rub this adhesive remover all over anywhere that we have tape. And this adhesive remover basically works on that tape and will make it so that it just peels off the ear. That way we're, again, removing as little hair as possible. The other way that I've done this is with a medicine dropper, like from a kid's Tylenol or ibuprofen bottle, but you can see this adhesive remover just basically like melts the adhesive. And this is especially important on the inside part of the ear here, where we've got that big piece of tape and there's obviously a lot of hair. So again, you just want to kind of rub that nice and good, get yourself a good starting point. And if it doesn't come easily, then you just need more adhesive remover. Good girl. Good girl. And sometimes if I can catch an edge, I'll kind of get that adhesive remover. Sometimes I'll even take like a Q-tip if I can't get my finger in here, and you can kind of just roll that Q-tip in here with the adhesive remover on it. And we'll just take this right off of here really easily. You guys will have an easier time too, because your dog's ear post will have been there for a week, and by about a week it's again going to be ready to come off. But you can see this just makes it so slick. Good girl. Perfect. All right, so there's that. You'll do that same thing on this other side, and then you'll be ready to post. I hope you reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. I'm here to help you anytime.